start this session with brief introduction. My name is Abhishek Pallav, and I head the product engineering at vertical at Nucleus Software along with the AI vertical. And at Nucleus Software, we have started creating software product development and building products on Indian soil way back since 1986. So the Make in India initiative journey was started 3.5, close to 4 decades now. And now we have at around 50 countries, 200 plus installations, large customer, and a very, very satisfied customer base, I would say. And the core of thing is with the change at the pace at which the technology is changing, the recent development that has happened around AI, we don't see this just as a technological growth. It has come up as more kind of a fundamental force, and it is not only disrupting the ecosystem, but also creating wide opportunities for players, for our customers, and people at the bottom of the pyramid. The idea is not only to create a sustainable ecosystem, but help people at the bottom of the pyramid to have access to the financial services, access easy and enriching. At the same time, we are also ensuring that we are responsible and create frameworks that are explainable and trustworthy. And I would like to ask my fellow associates and panelists to help us know about who we are and what are our views on AI and especially in the fintech domain. Over to you, Vinod.
Thank you. So thank you, everyone. Thanks for the opportunity, AICRA. So I'm Vinod Neelnath. I'm the GM and Chief Product Officer for UST Smart Ops. That is the intelligent automation platform for UST. When automation started initially, it was all about looking at how to gain efficiency. But with the advent of AI, it actually departed from efficiency to give more onto the top line itself. So the whole idea, when we work in UST, also Smart Ops as well, we have a vertical dependent platform called as FinOps. So it's actually started on finance automation, but now currently the focus is completely on how the user can use it as a companion, as an investment advisor, as an advisor to actually generate your finance, and also how that can actually look at being a co-pilot for you on your daily business. So it's not just about the business, it's about the people who are interacting. So finance that way has changed a lot from being a black box to be an open box with the help of AI. So we'll be discussing more about that in our session now. So I'll hand over to.
Thank you, fellow panelists. Thank you, AICRA, for inviting me here. I am Puneet Chopra. I work for Hewlett Packard Enterprise. We are known for making servers, storage, networking systems. So we are an infrastructure player. And we've been around in the IT industry since quite some time. And we have a lot of work that is going on in AI across the sectors. It's a sector agnostic company, not only in fintech. And we have collaborations on AI architectures with NVIDIA and with others like AMD or Intel. And we've got a very unique proposition in the market, which is called as a private cloud with AI, which means that you can actually have a private cloud solution with AI with a consumption-based model. So you pay only as much as you consume, and that is going to be having all the NVIDIA GPUs plugged inside the HPE servers, as well as the networking, which is going to be mixed between NVIDIA and between HP. The whole architecture is going to be certified by the two companies, and there is an NVIDIA NeMo framework, HPE data fabric, as well as the data pipelining, as well as the machine learning data management solution, all putting together and making sure that the data which you get, which is supposed to be ingested into the models, that is all pipelined nicely under a same data source, same name source, and also converting the structured, unstructured to the structured data so that the AI can have much more, you can say, better inference or a prediction around it. So there are various number of use cases, and we talk to the clients depending on how he wants to utilize this architecture. This is something which is a managed services solution. In other cases, we engage with clients on a consultative basis. Let's say if there is a RAG model that is required to be built based on his vector database, we do that, and we make sure that it is compliant. So for example, there might be an annual report which the company is actually wishing to publicize on the website. Now it needs to be compliant, and there are supposed to be some fields which are told by the regulatory mandatory to be included. So we do that, and that is something which is just one crude example. There are LLM sandboxes to pipeline together, RAG models together. And so we are a complete, you can say, end-to-end organization with services as well as infrastructure. And we will talk about this in the panel.
Good evening. My name is Dimitri. We are a private investigation team, and literally we help our clients, and I mean normally our clients are the victims who faced with crypto fraud. We are focusing only on crypto crime investigations, and we help our clients to recover the stolen crypto, recovering it back. So the question is, so what am I doing here? Why is AI conference is organizer invited me? So far we are implementing our new internal solution. It's a AI agent who can immediately support within crypto incident response process. And I think I will tell something more about it within our panel session. But so far, yeah, thank you very much for having me here.
Good evening, everyone. This is Aryan Cooper, CEO of Excellence Technologies. I'll keep this a little crisp. Okay, I represent an organization that's 9 years old. We've done significant work in the AI, Gen AI space with some of the largest NBFCs and financial services company in the country. Having said that, I'll take it to the next round of discussion. Thank you for having me here.
Great. Welcome, Aryan. So, Dimitri, the question is to you. How do you see artificial intelligence is going to help and enhance the customer experience, help manage the risk that is generating out of it, and reduce the overall cost of operations on ownership?
Thank you. So it was actually was told a lot of during the keynote presentations today, and the AI can really improve the fintech. But I would like to split my answer into two parts. First part is how AI is improving fintech industry, and another part is how AI is used by criminals, because we work very closely with this area. So of course, AI for fintech and for our company, it can enhance customer experience within onboarding process, within customer support, within any support, even call centers. We have now we have voice on AI voice agent who can literally replace call centers. Of course, it's really cost saving. But in our case, when we go to the blockchain to crypto space, AI helps us to collect data, verify data, all about the incident. But what is literally crypto incident? It means that some crypto from crypto wallet address A transferred to crypto wallet address B, where the crypto wallet address B is like attacker's wallet address, crypto wallet A is like victim. So in our case, AI helps us to verify whether it was like real wallet address, whether it was real transaction, and even the amount of damage of crypto was really happened. and it really saves time. In crypto incidents, the time is really crucial because I mean, the idea is what every scammer, what every hacker wants after he steal crypto. He wants to convert it to real money, right? He wants to do money laundering. That's how we call it. And AI helps us to shorten this process. So we get immediately verified and validated report about the incident. We can immediately label these wallet addresses which belong to the attacker. We can immediately label it. And then we share this database, our database, with any crypto trading platforms, with law enforcement, with regulators. So all third parties can have an access to the, let's call it very fresh database with crypto wallet addresses involved in criminal activity. And so, and this process can really help to, maybe it cannot help to catch the bad guy, but we mostly focusing on freezing the stolen assets and recovering it back. So for our case, it worked like this. Thank you.
So nice. What an example this is. So you're not only helping us to enhance the efficiency, tagging it, also enabling the agencies to come up with measures, countermeasures to take care of things. What a thing. So Vinod, my question is to you is, how do you see what are the applications Fintech and how Fintech is leveraging as an opportunity of the various AI applications that we kind of see from agentic to different multi-modal generative AI, and now we have vertical LMs, etc., etc. So any thoughts on that?
Yeah, the applications, the journey started much before, and the journey started first with the intelligent document processing. That means all the document automation. So FinOps is an area where you go to bank or you go to any finance institution, the number of paperwork, the number of documents is humongous. So the first application which hit it almost was the document processing, the backend document automation, the extraction, classification, all the document pipeline came into that. Second, then it attacked the customer support area with the chatbots, the AI chatbots, trying to support the customer agents, trying to look at the customer complaints, etc. So that was what was happening. Then suddenly some changes started happening. Some of the applications were really supporting the financial institutions. Some of them started supporting the consumer or the end, like the end person itself. So from the angle of the financial institutions, it went into, as Puneet told, the compliance, the regulatory compliance, how we can look at the compliance areas, etc. How can we look at fraud detection? What actually fraud the mechanisms can be put in place to avoid that? I mean, I think a beautiful example of the security was given, but many other fraud part in the FinOps was happening. So the AI began enhancing that. When GenAI came in, actually it also started looking at from the consumer point of view, how can it be more personalized? So the banking became personal, the investment became personal. So you have more a personalized nature of, so it is not like when you go, you get something for you. So your plan is now tailored for you because the agent knows that this is your monthly income, this is what you normally like, so this is what your risk appetite is. So all your recommendations became personalized to you, not even just a sector of people and all. The personalized recommendation then also became on the trading, became algorithmic trading of how the trading can be much enhanced on these areas and all. And finally now what we are looking at is also like the customized part and all is also, at the end, it is going to be a partner of your assistant, of your wealth management. So finally you will, and for the consumer, you'll get a full wealth management assistant, which actually will start managing the assets, investments, banking, everything. And in the back end, it's a full control of the compliance, detection, etc. and all. So those are where the applications are going both sides.
Thanks. And to make this happen, Aryan, my question to you is, how do you see how one should be creating the framework around and the subsystems around it? Is it to leverage all the open source that are already available in the market, or should we start from scratch or an hybrid approach? And if you can be specific to something, a tailored framework that you or recommended guidelines would really help.
Sure. I think this is being echoed through all the sessions that had happened yet. Right? We had the defense side of it, we had the quantum side of it. Right now we are talking fintech. So tech, no tech, AI, no AI, the domain remains. Right? So let's maybe 10, 15 years ago, it was the finance domain that we're talking about. The finance domain, after deploying technology and executing at speed, became fintech, and now it's I think we are in the evolution phase of moving from fintech to FinAI, right? So being at this fabulous journey and seeing, I think our generation is getting to see multiple evolutions. So this is one evolution that we are going through. So domain experts, I think, need to be a part of this journey, need to be a part of the framework when you're building anything for any domain, and especially in fintech. You cannot think of building something without a domain expert. You have your AI engineers, you have your domain experts. The domain experts have the sense of regulation, right? Regulation is black and white, but there is a sense of regulation required, right? Because you might, the fraud system is so high that only a human mind can detect or intuitively realize what is possibly going wrong. Second, customer behavior beyond what is captured, right, is something that an individual can perspective. So having human beings, having domain experts along with your AI engineers and then going ahead and building is what is very, very important as a part of your framework. And when you're deploying, I think, human in the loop, as we call it, right? That is very, very important. Have the human in the loop in terms of your critical decision making. Have the human in the loop for training and evaluating and monitoring so that the AI model gets more and more accurate. So that's one part of it. Second is building a framework on standards that are recognized, right? That'll build a trust factor. Yeah. You talk about ISO 27000, or you talk about 42001, or you even talk about SOC 2 compliance. So having your standards incorporated in your framework, very, very critical to have that, so that your stakeholders have that trust that, okay, you may be doing the right thing. Right? So that is the second aspect of it. Third, I think, is the data, right? Ensuring that you're feeding in data that is true data, not open source data. When I say true data, it is just data that is coming from the institute itself. I'm talking B2B, purely B2B, right? A finance organization has their data. You use the true data. You understand what are outliers, possibly exclude outliers in your first run, and then figure out how you train the management of AI on those outliers. Look at missing values, null values, right? How those got to be treated, right? So this is one thing. Massaging data and ensuring it being fed, and then monitoring, is the engine giving you, or is the model giving you the output as expected? So your test environment has to be very specific, right? So you ensure that your test environment is working in a manner and is very well tested. Use historical information to go ahead and run your tests and see if the outputs are as desired or not. Finally, I think I'd like to wrap up on the note saying, whatever it be, it should be auditable, right? The scary part is when your AI hallucinates or goes rogue, and your engineers don't know how it happened. Right? So that's the scary part of it. So how do you build that? Probably use tools that are giving you instances of what is happening where. Observability tools, governance tools, maybe something like Lime or even the watsonx orchestrator. I think this helps you large scale monitor multiple AIs working independently as well as interactive AI applications. Yeah. Thank you.
So you talked about AI has hallucination, and one of the recent survey that we have done many a times, most of us have observed that even Gen AI misleads with their responses, and most of the time it is the line is so thin that people do not even able to detect, and they go on with the responses given by the tool, the Gen AI platform. in such cases, what are your recommendations? What you suggest people to do? Do you need to have an extra layer of an AI to look at the response of AI, or sort of?
I think at the agentic level, you can keep building multiple levels of AI that can manage this, right? You have a checker AI, you have a manager AI, you can agentic being built. But the key loop is human in the loop, right? Observing how it is behaving, because you don't want to miss when an out of pattern behavior happens, right? So how do you build that into your system is very important. So human in the loop and building checker and managing agents, verifiers, I think that does help more, control this to a significant extent. Will it breach? We do not know, right? There is possibility it will breach, so you just probably wait and watch and figure out how to keep monitoring and controlling and improving these. Standards change. ISO 2015 is 2018 will definitely change because things are moving much faster, right?
Yeah, thanks. Puneet, my question to you is, do you have any case studies or success stories of how AI has changed the landscape in which you function or operate, or can you share some experiences? And what are the challenges that you see on the operational aspect in terms of the compliance?
So yes, there are actually many clients with whom we have actually worked on AI use cases, but I would certainly say that the maturity level right now is not really as pronounced as it's in the West. And there are some things which are happening better than India in the West. I'll just give an example of a bank in Singapore. You go to their website, DBS is a bank, and we supplied some hardware to them, not really worked on the entire AI architecture. But what they actually very clearly write on their website is that this is the total amount of revenue which we actually increased by the use of AI. And they are mentioning that how many AI use cases we are using. That's the first bank that has been digitized to that level. In India, I'll just give you an example. What should happen, what doesn't happen. For example, if I have a credit card from a particular company, I have a home loan also worth 2 crores from that company. I am an HNI, right? But if I don't spend as much as the credit card requires me to spend for waiving of the fee, I'll have to then, request them at the end of the year. And that looks so absurd, They're treating me just like any other customer. And there's no recognition if I go to the branch. They don't know my background. But some banks like HSBC or like, StanChart, they have these processes. You don't spend as much on their Premier card or on the Platinum card, still they know you are an HNI. That's what exactly is the magic of AI. They've implemented it globally. Those practices are coming here, right? So they have a complete, you can say, profiling of the customer, which is currently a very simple use case, but it's not done here. And that's something which I would say, it's happening much more outside. On the compliance regulatory, I just gave the example of the RAG. So deploying RAGs for many clients and making sure, because we've got domain expertise, we've got also partnership with the Big Four. We believe in partnership. We believe in, you can say, working together, so that we bring the best solution to the client. So we are a hardware vendor and a networking vendor, and we partner with NVIDIA, we partner with the application vendors, plus we partner with the Big Fours. And we go with the domain expertise to tell them which exactly is the regulatory and the compliance requirements for the domain, for fintech itself. Also, like here in India, it's the RBI or the IRDAI, depending on, what, or the SEBI. Another example, you go to a particular, you buy a ULIP policy, and there would be something like, these many switches. Yeah. But who does it? You don't do it. You rely on the fund manager. He doesn't do it. AI is something which is actually, more appropriate if it's a SEBI certified and regulated AI agent that can very clearly, keep a track of how exactly stock market is moving. And so just
that will bring more and more transparency at the same time. So you also mentioned in the initial part of your talk about end-to-end solution and hybrid cloud offerings that you give. So how is the data isolation practices are maintained, and how do you ensure that the customer data, the tenancy level data is not getting mixed, and customers should be remain
so the whole idea of the solution which I mentioned, I use the word hybrid because of the hybrid AI quality of, applications. Some applications are not native AI, some applications are native AI, so we can actually combine the terms, so it becomes hybrid AI. But we actually are not going to be actually putting the data out on the cloud. That's how actually we bring the cloud-like, public cloud-like experience on the customer's premise. So data sovereignty is maintained. He has complete control and visibility of his data, what we are doing with it. And the first thing which we recommend to all the clients is a data audit. You know, he might be having data pipelines, he might be having so much data available, but whether there is bias in it, how it has been documented, and that is, it might be actually, you know, gathered from various systems, from databases, but has the gathering, has the pull from the databases and, you know, congregation together in a CSV file, has that been accurate? So first of all, a data audit is required. If there is a bias, you calculate depending on, you know, there are recommended formulas. You recommended something like a disparate impact ratio. And you see if it is actually, you know, greater than 1, so you mean, you know that there is something wrong. You see what exactly is required. If, let us say, for example, I'm not being biased, but let's say if a lady is applying for a home loan, you know, it is more likely to actually not get.
That has happened.
That happens. So that's a bias. If she's applying, she knows she can pay for it, right? So, but there has been a past history because of her credit card due date, she might have forgotten. So those things are supposed to be actually, you know, corrected, and you make sure that certain defaults are actually, you know, converted to non-defaults. Similarly, explainable AI. You put the Sharpe ratio and try to see whether what's the score coming in. So those are the jobs of data scientists. And we have a center of excellence where we have data scientists who actually excel in these things, sit with the client per vertical. We don't have lot many because we are not you know, doing only AI cases all over the world, but we have something like, you know, 50 to 75 people who are actually globally, and they move around. So
So the recent data by United Nations conference on trade shows that the AI vertical or this business is going to be 4.8 trillion by 2033. Dimitri, my question is to you: how do you see in next 5 to 8 years the landscape is going to change, and how we will be leveraging this opportunity?
Yeah, well, speaking about kind of future, right, opportunities, we can see like opportunities and we can see challenges. For opportunities for fintech, I think that AI really is becoming kind of artificial intelligence layer connecting dots for, let's say, for business, right? It connecting dots, connecting all fraud prevention tools, anti-money laundering tools, I mean, other today fragmented solutions, and make it easier for decision making, like for business. For customers, it also can be improvement in terms of, like, as already was mentioned, in terms of personalized offerings, more effective ways of communication. Well, and speaking about challenges, I mean, all these AI tools is available not only for like business or customers, it's also available for criminals, for fraudsters, for scammers. And what I see is that fraud itself, or even like fraud as a service, also will be like increasing. And if we speak about this, I mean, companies or companies, especially within fintech industry, should focus on not only on improving some kind of customer experience, etc., but also on the defense, or on defense and like resilience, because it was already mentioned, right, that AI is available for everyone, not only for very good purposes. Yeah.
So, Vinod, my question to you then is we heard Mr. Dugal was talking about an act to be created around it, and Indian IT Act has not been revised since last 15 years or so. The last one was 2008, he mentioned. Now, the point is that what are the regulatory guidelines that you see should RBI coming, and not only RBI, all the institutions around should come forward to create a holistic approach, and what are your thoughts on that?
I think, again, we always say, where do we draw the line? Because if the line is drawn too tight, actually it will stop all innovations. If the line is drawn too far away, it will actually lead to more frauds and criminal activities and all. So The first problem actually was told in the last session itself. We should have a legal framework which is set up, which needs to be renovated every half a year, because it's not like the other legal parts that when you set something, it is set on stone for 20 years. So you can have an IT Act. Actually, when we were in telecoms, we had a Telecom Act which actually was robust for some 50 years continuously. But in the age of AI, and when AI became Gen AI, when we became agentic AI, we see the changes by which people can do. So the first thing for the legal framework when some people join and act is to see that the frequency of revision is completely changed from the current notion. So it has to be changed as we speak, because we say that all the AI which we do should be having continuous learning. So why is the legal framework having no continuous learning at all? So how can we put into that is the number one. Second thing is, we told about AI is not like, I think it was told by 2-3 people that this is a mix of domain and AI. The legal framework also has to do the same thing, because people will not know how the AI will be misused unless domain is involved in that. So the legal framework, if it is fully legal people, they will understand the legal domain and how that will be actually involved. But you would need to bring in all the domain. Like when you are talking of fintech, you need to have the finance experts into that panel to see they really know what are the frauds which can happen. So that actually happens. One area which I can chime very well is if you look at hacking. So the reverse of hacking is actually hacking. It's not thing. So you have ethical hackers, so-called. So only a hacker can do a hack prevention and ethical hacking. So same way, in the legal framework also, you really need to understand how the domain can be misused to patent that. So you get that. Third is, the most important part of legal framework is to, like I think we have a saying in our legal framework that even if 1,000 innocents, this thing, one like we should not punish one innocent person, even if you like leave 1,000 guilty. Same way, we should make a legal framework in the reverse in this area. We'd say that we can't have a problem of getting one theft away. Even like if so many times people look at the advantages. Okay, I got an undue advantage, but if that undue advantage is actually proving something very dangerous to security, that should be first cordoned off and has to be. And I think the punishments for that will be a bigger legal challenge. How we do that? How can we get that? Etc. So I think the legal framework, as I see, has the biggest challenge. Now there is another mechanism which is coming into this with the Gen AI. What happens is that it's not just affecting the current industries and all. Even in the legal frameworks, how do you now call an evidence? What is an evidence? Because how do you understand that it is not fabricated or fabricated? How do you actually test that out? So that is a bigger thing. So if you hear something, is it really an evidence? Because you can make that as a voice from anyone, anytime now. So that, like, those would need bigger debates in legal thing, how we can actually attack that and that.
Thanks, Vinod. That was quite insightful. On this part, I would like to understand on the deep fakes and the challenges that is creating. What are your recommendations? How should we insulate ourselves, and what are the practices that can be built? One part is regulatory, like European Union has GDPR Act, while it is able to prevent the giving a border to the data transmission that should not go around, and the PIA protection. But at the same time, the multi-modal approach creating fabricated content which looks real but not. In that case, what is the framework to detect it, or any approach that you suggest?
I think we're talking two things here. What could go wrong, right? And how do you detect what is going wrong, if I've got your question right. So what could go wrong, I think rightly said by Vinod out there, is the system needs to continuously learn. Only from learning will we be able to identify. And second is the need to have domain experts and the guys who wear the black hat. The black hatters need to be involved in the design process to identify where and when things could go wrong, right? What is that inflection point in the process? What is that point in the process that is open to larger interpretation than limited outputs, right? So all those need to be incorporated. Too early to say where this would be heading, right?
Yeah.
I think even all the extremely senior guys who were there in the previous sessions are also trying to figure it out. The whole world is trying to figure it out. I think I have only these three basic inputs, right? Get the black hatters, get the domain experts, and build something that is auditable.
Yeah. So on that account, like there is a survey that most of the financial fraud, the most common one is the fraud that happens through UPI. And it is estimated that in India itself, it has passed 1 lakh crore. The kind of, the magnitude that it has created so far, and it is going to grow with the 17 billion transactions in a month that has crossed UPI. Now it is growing with even faster speed. In such cases, detection of transactions in real time and educating people, what are the opportunities do you see in that?
I'll take a simple example, right? QR code related frauds. You go to places where QR codes are pasted, and you're supposed to just open your scanner, make the payment. How does that get avoided? And it's happening. It's happening literally in a lot of places. I think education, making people aware, having those ads popping up, probably it's happening on the movies, it's happening on the TV, it's happening on your SMS. You keep getting these updates. Somebody has to go ahead and see it. In spite of that, we have a large population of people who do not have access to education, right? So maybe that's where it remains open. But we'll have to depend on the community framework to be able to spread the news faster so that people are educating. Not causing a spam. I think it should be treated a little differently than spam.
Yeah. Okay. And the aspects on educating people, should there be programs? Because this, for many of us, adoption of content that has been generated out of AI, like there are so many startups that are coming and trying to create new offerings for the masses. Now, how people there is a resistance, because whether should somebody, there is a large part of the globe who still fear on content created by AI or generated by AI. So what are your recommendations of how one can help people to seamlessly take and accept it as part of their daily lifestyle, and not as a threat that is for part of the society is seen as?
In a pretty large question. When you're collecting information, dealing with customers, dealing with individuals, I think it's important for them to understand, right, and agree to terms. So consent-based information collection, right? And the visibility of what's going to happen with their information, right? So that needs to be educated. It's just that when you fill up, when you're doing either a digital check or whether you're submitting forms, there's significant fine print, right? And then we talked about fraud, right? Incorrect use of UPI QR. So two different situations, right? Maybe use AI to summarize your term sheet when you're giving your consent, right? To figure out what is it that is significant to you. And what works with humans majorly is your nuggets of training, nuggets of education, small bits, regular bits saying something is happening, this thing, your information is being used. We've seen this whole fiasco of Facebook using information and building, collecting data, and we have Meta, right? Everywhere, it's all cleared, right? It's used, it's all cleared. We all have given our consent, right? So as long as we are aware what we are submitting our personal information to, And as long as we are being fed with what could go wrong with your information, these could come, this has to be multi-platform,
So,
right? It cannot
yeah.
be one
So
platform.
my counter question is to you is, or maybe Puneet, you can help on that, anonymizing of data so that the PII security remains and people who are sharing data should not exposed to the world with their private information. Is there any opportunities that you see, or are you guys doing something around it to ensure that the PII protection framework is there?
So we get a lot of requests by the customers that the total data which they are having, for example, whether it's a telecom company, their payments bank, or let's say even the financial institutions, to actually engage our data scientist in anonymizing the data. So making sure how the code is to be written correctly so that when the data is fed into it, so then it can come out anonymized and it is not easy to actually, make misuse that.
Okay.
So you can remove what you call the age. You can put an age bracket,
Yeah.
for example,
Yeah.
right? And as far as the surname is concerned, there also you can actually put some gaps in between.
Yeah, okay.
Something like that, because
Okay.
ultimately what you need to do, you need to actually
Absolutely.
get some statistics, some analytics out of the data.
Yeah, yeah.
You're not really using the data specifically to give some output to the consumer. You're doing it for your own purpose to make sure that how exactly the overall, you can say, data is when it's fed into an AI engine or a particular application, what exactly is the inference that is actually coming out of it.
So you're saying masking it before you put
Masking
it to
it
protection.
before putting the age bracket, not really the same age, and there are some other fields also, place of birth, and also you can remove that, and so those are not required, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But if you actually put that, so then it's uniquely, yours.
Yeah, yeah.
And similarly, email addresses. So that also actually has some possibilities. You might not really say it's google.com. You might actually, just mask Google and or might not put .com after that, something like that.
So in a way, the idea is to, before getting the data be used for or fed into a model, it should be sanitized so that by mistake, customer sensitive information is not getting leaked to the model, and model is not getting biased to an specific.
And also it's very important to have the right people working on the model, because
Absolutely.
every data quality or the data type or the category, it's the right word, every data category deserves a different type of classifier. So many times I've seen that people don't really have a clear differentiation, understanding of what exactly is the difference in a model and an AI code. So we talk very, very openly that it's a model. So it's not something which is same like ChatGPT, even if that's a Gen AI LLM. So AI as a Python program, it's something which is actually coming with libraries. And those libraries are actually something which are linked to classifiers. And those classifiers are mathematics formulas which are actually defined. And every classifier is meant for different quality of data.
Yeah, yeah.
And you have to actually make sure that you are testing with multiple classifiers your type of data and see that where the accuracy and the F1 score is highest. And then you actually feed it into it, tell the data scientist that this is the one. This is actually the data science team lead job to actually,
So three amigos are data engineers,
Yes.
data scientists, and domain experts. They
Yes.
all come together
Yes.
to
Then only you
ensure
get the
that
right. They all will actually cook the right recipe, cook the right food, and you will enjoy it.
Yeah, yeah. So my question to Aryan is, what do you suggest for the people who are looking AI as a vertical and opportunities for the world? Any suggestions on how they should start? And since one of the challenges, the AI infrastructure is costly and is not easily available, and so as the data. The rich content, while there are so many contents are available, but how they can use contents that are freely available to get started and get some business out of it.
In the fintech vertical, it's strongly not recommended to go open source, as long as you're having an instance right into your infrastructure, your environment, right? You have your encryption of data, you have your role-based access controls and all this in place. Till then, you should definitely not explore. So your framework, your systems need to be in place, trustworthy data engineers, your data scientists, your AI engineers, and domain experts need to be involved in the development of it. Do not compromise basis cost, right? I think you need to do the right thing. We don't have a legal framework around it, but the sooner we go towards things going wrong, the sooner that system will get built, right? So, and if it is a significant crime, it's not getting away with it.
So the idea is to create for a purpose, find the right people and institution who can help you assist with the data and give access, and then with responsibility, get it started, create frameworks and visibility roadmap of how operational efficiency and cost of ownership be reduced. One of those we have heard about agentic frameworks and multi-model LLMs. This is just a tip of the iceberg. There's lot and lot has to come with quantum and AI and quantum coming together. It is the blend of the thing that is going to change this next course of action, and it is going to happen at some places. It has already started happening that I have seen, and we are gearing up for it. I'm sure all of us looking forward to it. Any questions from the audience? Otherwise, we'll wind it up. Thanks.
Thank you. Let me introduce
please.
myself. I'm Dr. Arun Kumar.
Yeah.
I'm living in South Korea almost 9 years. I'm an Indian origin scientist and entrepreneur. So I have a doctorate in hydrogen energy. So recently I registered my startup in India. We focused on space.
Nice.
Actually, I have a dream of landing in Mars by zero emission.
Nice.
So what, I have a question to ask, even the military people who left early, I guess. So the question is, I have been using ChatGPT from the time it is introduced. So what basically I learn is, it's trying to surpass the human intelligence. In the case of research R&D, for example, when I submit a research paper, after that, we get a review questions. I am also serving as a review for American Chemical Society and elsewhere. So when I ask the same question to the ChatGPT, so what it is making me as a scientist is surpassing my intelligence. Sometimes it is giving me some wrong direction. When I keep on asking, when I go for further question to ChatGPT, it's not answering me correctly. One. Second, I think I cannot disclose the journal name where I served. The reason, in Russia, in the Ukraine war, they used North Korean soldiers. So what I'm thinking, AI, is it misleading the army people? Something like, you can use, soldier from other country, something like that. So what do you think about this?
Yes, so this is one of the challenge as an engineers around those who are practitioners whose responsibility is ensure the one that Puneet talked about, and Mr. Vinod also mentioned it during his talk, is to have a framework. Now this is what we were talking about, the hallucination part is you're being given wrong answers to right questions, and you yourself don't know at times, and it is by the time get to know about it is quite late. So this is one of the challenge that now where to, what to believe, how much to believe is the current framework or the model is to cross-validate is for the general audience. Yeah.
And of course, let me finish it.
Yeah, sure.
Now we are all, even this summit is, people are talking about how the AI can be used in the cybersecurity, or how you can use the AI to counterattack, in terrorism. Now what AI is transforming us to think about only this beyond very big, it is something like we need to focus on the weapon developments. For example, nuclear fusion bombs, like nuclear fusion energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is like people aware about nuclear fusion energy, is very, very less compared to the AI. It is like we human being are going beyond, something like, I don't know, like many scientists, like, even the US, the Russia, and many European countries are focusing on nuclear fusion energy. It's not achievable as of now because of we need so much of pressure and millions of degrees to achieve such nuclear energy. Now China is focusing on this one. They have developed the Docomo, and Japan also. I don't know about India how they are doing. So, well, if they achieve the nuclear fusion energy, they will be stronger in the military. They can have just 500 milligram of hydrogen nuclear bomb. We cannot even touch any country. So this is my yeah, of course. That what I'm suggesting, like, is it AI surpassing our intelligence? Instead of
So he is giving a metaphoric. Well,
Because
yeah,
last year also I was here.
it's
I asked the
counterintuitive.
same question.
Yeah.
After almost 400 days, I'm repeating the same question.
Yeah, please. So
Yeah.
Puneet is going to answer.
So we tend to miss one fact. Every technology improves with time, and we think that AI has arrived, and it is the same that it will stay. It's not the same ChatGPT what it was when it was launched. It was ChatGPT 3.5, now it is 4 plus, and slowly it will be actually having its own roadmap. 5 years from now, yes, it will surpass human intelligence. Surpassing has a definition: quickness, rapidly, accuracy, vast, you can say, responses. You yourself said that you were trying to actually, ask for review questions. Now you have a limited speed of thinking. Computer chips and AI specifically aided by high capacity GPUs is going to be 1,000 times faster than we think. So it will vomit out the answers, and it can actually, because of that speed, it can go to thousands and millions of different databases and get the information. That's what actually, made computing arrive. And now it's the same thing. So AI will actually surpass in that particular way. But when it comes to emotive intelligence, when it comes to wisdom, experience, that is something which we are not very sure. So humans are not going to be redundant, right? We will be actually using our emotive intelligence and certainly our rationalism to make decisions. That is something which probably it's difficult for AI to actually, that's what I feel. You remember we used to watch the Terminator series. That was actually, peep into the future. So there were humans also, and there were the war machines going against us. So I hope so that that situation doesn't come. But coming to what you just said, so just responding to that.
Just to supplement, can you finish and then you can. So just to supplement what Puneet just mentioned, there is not only AI, brain-computer interface is also is an area vertical. So how we can the machine and human can become one is one dimension. And the second part, one is the cyber security that you initially asked. Is there is already AI in place that is saving lots and lots of frauds. It is preventing. How often you have seen you did payment to a new credit card and a call from bank already landed before the transaction got complete. So this is something very silently has already started happening. Countermeasures are being taken, and yes, tomorrow we will be having super AI for sure. Question, please.
A very good evening to the panelists. Very thankful for your brilliant insights. My question is regarding using AI in terms of financial securities. So from what I've understood is that AI can be utilized in terms of observation and surveillance of transactions. I think particularly my angle was towards SEBI or stock market because, I mean, we have experienced extreme and huge scams in it. And the issue was that humans have a certain capability of observation and understanding patterns. Do you think in terms of technological advancements, implementing AI into the entire stock market in India?
Absolutely, yes.
Plus the regulation, do you think observation and understanding these patterns can be initial step forward for this, and how can we build towards it? Thank you.
So the answer to your long question is yes. Yes. and we must forward. I'm sure institutions are already on it. There are some proof of concepts being done, some initiatives already being taken, and government is, as we heard in the last session and the session before that, government itself is very, very sensitive about ensuring that the regulations and compliance is the paramount of everything on that is being done on and around AI. So looking forward to a better world. This is with which I'd like to end this session. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Really appreciate for your time.
Thank you
and
very much,
patience.
sir. Thank you so much. Let's give a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. May I request and call upon Sri Rajkumar Sharma, President AICRA, to kindly come up on the stage as we felicitate our esteemed panelists.